roll a few folks.
I wish I could.
Joe, you forgot that there was gambling, right out here in the Bay, not in this
In the
place.
Bay, yeah, oh, in the
Since they
Bay,
have those
especially with
ships.
foreign registry ships, you can do that now. There's never gambling here. We're part of Los Angeles County, never any on the
They
island.
did have it offshore.
Well, that's a whole different story, but never here on the island.
Dad, Mom and Dad talked about it.
Yeah, well, they do it on the cruise ships every day,
Yeah,
too.
sure.
You're 3 miles offshore. Yeah, never on the island, though. Never,
Barges,
never.
yeah.
We're still in active theater. By the way, you may have heard an old saying, standing the limelight or stealing somebody's limelight. On the footlights here, every third light, you'll notice a green light. It's a limelight. That's where that old saying came from. Now, some of the most popular live events that took place on the stage actually occurred back in World War II. A series of radio programs back then entitled Victory Parade. And of that series, the most popular was hosted by a gentleman with the name of Kay Kaiser. He also holds the honor for entertaining our largest dance crowd to date upstairs in the ballroom. Down here, the event was popular. Not only were all 1,184 seats filled up, the line still extended all the way out to Via Casino Way, that archway about halfway out to town. Of course, long before television, internet, anything of that nature, a lot of entertainment then was kind of a theater of the imagination. You know, you'd hear it on the radio. If you wanted to witness one of these events live, though, it's one of the premier events right here. Other events that took place on the stage during World War II, every Friday night there'd be a little freelance boxing match that would take place on the stage, basically to give the enlisted guys some entertainment and blow off some steam. The only reason I bring this up is because it does kind of tug at some heartstrings for me. See, my dear old dad, now, he was all of 19 years of age before being sent to fight in the South Pacific in World War II. And for one reason or another, at nighttime, he found himself working in the kitchen. And to be honest, he really did not like it. He was looking for something else, anything else to do. Friday night rolled around, and he thought, oh, what the heck, I'll give this a go. And he put his name in the hat. Make a long story short, my dad pulled out the name of this humongous Australian merchant marine and knocked my dad stone cold unconscious right out in about the center of the stage here. But with that in mind, and this is a true story, to his last day, he always insisted that was still better than working in the kitchen. That's how bad that must have been. He was knocked out there. It's been pretty horrible. We had film shown here during World War II as well. Projections to that time. His name's Jim Dowtree, and him and his wife, they shared a little apartment here in town. She worked during the day at Lloyd's of Avalon, which is still there to this day. They got candy, coffee, things of that nature. A little known fact, at that time her name was Norma Jean, later become Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was a taffy puller here in Avalon for a number of years. Also General George Patton, before going to West Point, he grew up here, actor Gregory Harris. A lot of people come from a small town, a small island. Kind of funny. Now, John Gabriel Beckman, he directed only 4 other artists on the completion of all the artwork throughout this entire building, including, of course, the murals that are surrounding us. When work was finished on these murals, instead of signing or autographing the murals, you know, typical thing to do, something a little more quirky took place. And if you have any trouble whatsoever seeing what I'm talking about, all you have to do is take a few steps forward, because on the right-hand side of the theater, about halfway back of the theater, above the exit, and just forward of that reddish-colored sailing vessel, you'll notice a group of 5 Franciscan monks, and they're all wearing brown robes. Now, if you look closely, you're going to notice the faces of 4 out of the 5 Franciscan monks. That's the faces of the artists who helped John Gabriel Beckman. Instead of signing the murals, they actually painted their own faces up there on those guys. The gentleman second from the right, can't see his face because it's hidden by the sleeve. That represents John Gabriel Beckman. He thought this was really cheesy. He didn't want anything to do with this, so you can't see his face. The other 4 faces, though, are actually the faces of the artists who helped John Gabriel Beckman. Ceiling above us, by the way, it's covered in 60,000 4-inch squares of sterling silver leaf. On top of that, you'll notice a lot more in the way of 22-karat gold leaf stars. Now, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, and then once again in May, there's something extra special takes place here in the theater, and that being the playing of our theater's own Page pipe organ. Matter of fact, folks, I ask you all to be careful, but maybe I actually have Coach me falling down these steps here. I'll tell you about this instrument, there's a lot of things, so